Find them.
Hey everyone, welcome to another track with Gaston. So at the start here, we take scent from the bottle, let Gaston out before I start moving to the full length of the leash, and you can see his change of behavior as his head literally snaps onto the track. You can also see, thanks to the very wet grass, thanks to all the rain we've had recently, you can actually see the footsteps, and you can see how closely Gaston is actually working this track to begin with.
Footsteps.
Cool, so we're coming up to our first road crossing here. Now, Gaston's a very methodical dog. As we've approached that little surface change at the footpath, Gaston's head's lifted up and he's just done a full check of the area to confirm where the track is. Now, he commits really nicely here to the road crossing. It's worth noting that the wind is behind us, so it's blowing odour across the road and down this hill. Gaston works a bit of blown odour here in this bit. You can see in his hunting behaviour that's exhibiting, he's not quite on the track line, but he's on the edge of where the blown odour is. And he does a really nice job here of methodically working through this little scent problem that he's got. Now he gets his head down there, but there's still a lot of blown odour thanks to the really dewy grass that we're working in. But you can see as he runs out odour, he runs straight back to the track and gets his head down. Really nice work by Gaston here. Really easy to read that we are definitely on the track. Bearing in mind that this is double blind and I do not know where the track layer is gone. You can see him as he works along this bit. We get a bit of a distraction here. Bit of a correction there verbally before we give him a bit of a crack with the leash. But overall, he works this really nicely. Once again, more blown odour dragging us down. But he does a great job of heading back up to where the actual track is independently. And you can see with his head up behaviour, he's detecting the track and moving back up to it. No handlerless support needed at this point. And as you can see, he gets right back up on the track line, his head goes down, and you can see from his tail set and his head set that he is on the track.
It's fresh.
All right, coming up is a really nice corner by Gaston with a road crossing. So here we have really nice consistent tracking behavior. And as we approach the corner, this leash goes slack just there. He's reached the corner of the track and he goes immediately into hunting behavior, working the apex of the corner to identify where the road cross or the corner is. And in this case, it's across the road. Really enjoy how Gaston checks everywhere before committing to where he thinks the exit/crossing is, as you'll see happen in a moment.
Fresh.
Now that we've crossed the road, Gaston does a really good job of checking the entire area because there is quite a bit of blown odour thanks to the wind, and this is only aged 20 minutes, before he identifies the exit from the corner and commits to the track line. His body language is incredibly easy to read here, and there is no doubt in my mind that he is on the track. Now, this next part of the track was not particularly fun. We had a gentleman with two small dogs that were highly dog reactive begin barking towards Gaston. Now, I wasn't aware at the time, however, where this gentleman's standing with his two dogs is actually exactly where the track is. Now, Gaston here is quite distracted by the two dogs, and because I've broken the momentum of the track, he starts to think that we need to start working backwards. He's looking to solve this problem. I immediately put a stop to this and stop him from going backwards, as I know that the track is not in that direction. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, I could have cut this better. However, what I do is what I think is right at the time. I don't know where the track is, so I've just got to work this and work with my dog. We end up being quite distracted with multiple corrections. I try to cut the track, which you'll see in a little bit. However, these two dogs prove to be quite a problem for a little bit, for the next minute or so. The gentleman clearly had, luckily they were on leash. And here, that's actually where the crossing is physically, right there. So super unlucky. Obviously with a double blind track, I don't actually know where the crossing was. So I gave Gaston the best chance I thought and just pushed down this grassy area here in the hope that that was where the track was, just to keep us moving along. Now, as you can see, Gaston's body language here, he's got no odor. He's also quite interested in going back towards those dogs, which I repeatedly tell him not to. Not my finest work here. However, Gaston does do a good job and a little bit of getting back on track, which you'll see shortly.
Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. Fucking shit little dogs, eh? Alright, let's cut the track back. Let's go back to the crossing.
Now that I see the gentleman and his two dogs have vacated the area and most importantly moved away from the actual track, I bring Gaston back up to where I spotted some visible sign of the track. Very helpful, especially with that unlucky case of having those two dogs right there that were quite aggressive. This enabled me to assist Gaston to get back onto the track. Really nice work by Gaston shortly. He crosses the road in a moment once he gets sort of refocused back on the task at hand. And then he does a really nice job here of once again checking the whole corner out, working through the blown odor issue of the apex of the corner, and he picks up the track line again momentarily. See too, what I really like about the way Gaston works is that because of the wind, there's almost certainly blown odour up into that garage space and up this hill a bit. Throughout this track, because we're moving through suburbia and we're rounding corners, the wind direction obviously changes and impacts where the odour is blown. Now, another really great thing about Gaston is that his body language is day and night when he's on track line or in odour or when he's just hunting for it. As you can see here, there's slack in the line. He's lacking in direction, and he's just checking areas to try and pick up on the odour. Really love the way this dog works. At this point, I can read that that's not the direction we need to be going in, and I allow him to start working back in the other direction. Once again, as we're moving along, you can see Gaston is getting bits of blown odour here. And you can see that in his hunting behaviour. Now, if you look at the terrain here, we've got some nice, good source with the grass that's catching odour. But you see he runs out and he starts working his way back again. His body language, very easy to read once more. And you can see the intensity pick up as he comes back to the track line and away from that blown odour. And he does a really great job of getting his head down and really paying attention to that ground disturbance. And you can see when he's on the track line now. This is really nice work by Gaston. Now, once again, we're approaching a corner. I don't know the direction, but what you'll see in a moment is he's going across the road and he's just checking. He's here, you can see his body language. It's gone to hunting and the energy has completely left him. So I can tell that that is not the corner. I actually help him here and bring him back, which is something you can do as a handler, and you can read straight away he is back on track. Really awesome work. In that particular case, a little bit of handler help in reading a dog actually assisted in making this a more efficient track. I love this next corner. So Gaston's on the track line and you see his head just whip around behind him in a second. As the slack's gone out of the line, he's actually reached the corner. Does a really nice job here of zeroing straight in on where the corner is. You can see a little bit of sign left by the track layer, and the intensity picks right up, and then this is the crossing that we're looking for. Now, upon review of the track layer, I know that they're walking on the right-hand side of the road. We're on the left here because we have a bit of blown odour from the wind now, which is blowing right to left across the track now. Now, he's got some really nice productive source here. And he's also getting a little bit tired because at this point he's probably tracked about, for himself, about 1.3 kilometres because of all the movement we've had. But he does a really nice job of working down this road.
Head pop.
All right, this next bit of the track is probably the most interesting part of the whole thing. So here we've been tracking along with the wind running right to left. Now, as we come to this open bit and the road turns left, we get a really strong proximity alert. He starts pulling to the leash, his head's popping up, and we start going down this hill, but then the drive drops out of him as he runs out of that fresh odor that gave him that proximity alert. I'll explain what happened in a moment.
Car. It's one towards us. I think I know what's going on. And the trailer is up there. Yep. Contact odor. Yeah, you got this. Come here. That's it. High find. So we've got the wind coming towards us and the trail layers up there. So we've got a nice dead spot right here.
So as you can see, I've pulled up Gaston now, now that I've realised that the track layer is up the hill. Now, this is something called a high find, and this explains why we had a proximity alert so far away on the corner, and then this is also why Gaston sort of lost the track here. Remembering as well from this perspective for Gaston that that wall in front of him probably looked like a wall, and he's actually never really jumped up anything like this before. As you can see, it's pretty steep, and from his perspective, it may have looked like one continuous surface until we did the call out of the trail layer and sent him running up there. I explain in a little video in just a moment how I think the odor was behaving, resulting in this behavior. After Gaston's track here with the trail layer, what's cool is with this high find is we've got the wind up here blowing in our faces, which is why Gaston got a nice proximity alert down in the corner there. But the wind down there is actually blowing towards us when we're doing the track, which is why Gaston was pretty well confused about where the actual track was. Really amazing work.